Hi guys, it's Devin, and today I am going to do a memory slash like a shout out video. And so the first person I'm going to talk about today is Chandler, and she is actually my sister's friend, and I've known her for a while, but we never really talk because we're like not the same age. Um, and well, I don't really have a memory with her, and I don't have a memory with her. So one thing that I think is pretty darn awesome is that we have matching shoes. We both have the silver sparkly Toms, and I think that's pretty darn awesome. Okay, and the next person I'm gonna talk about is Peyton. And Peyton is actually one of my friends, and we haven't been friends for very long, but we've been friends long enough to where I could tell you about her. And one thing that I think is funny about Peyton, kind of have this in common, is that McKay Raven hates both of us. He was her ex-boyfriend, and now he's my ex-boyfriend, and he hates our guts, so that's kind of funny. Okay, Roxanne. Roxanne is a 5th grader, I think, and she dances with me at my dance studio, and I don't know her very well at all. I know she's shy, but yeah, and I know her. She goes to my school too, and I know her just the fact that she was in the talent show and I was in the talent show, so I know her from that. And then we're in one dance together, and that's it. Which is it's kind of sad. Maybe next year will be in more. It'd be kind of cool. Okay, next person, Brandon Bain. Brandon Bain is like my sister's best friend, but he's like my best friend too. Like no one thinks that we're best friends, but oh my gosh, I talk to him a lot. A good memory I have with Brandon Bain is when he was my son in air quotes. When I went out with Robbie was like his dad, and Brandon Bain was the son. So technically, I was like the mother. So he was definitely my stepson too. Okay, next person, Jack. Jack is like one of my best friends. He is my age and he's in my grade, and we're in a lot of classes together this year. I think one of my favorite memories with Jack is this year in Spanish, he spilled an entire water bottle on himself. You know how you take a water bottle and you poke a hole in it and you squeeze it? Well, he was doing that, and he squeezed it and it went didn't even go in his mouth. It was probably the most funny thing I've ever seen him do. And then him and I every once in a while would skip down math class sometimes just for the heck of it. I think we did that twice. It didn't really work out too well because we got stuck. And then another memory I have with him is the Crusaders of the Dark. But that's also a memory I have with a bunch of other friends, but he kind of started it. Him and I kind of started it, and that's a whole nother story. Okay, next person I'm going to talk about is Chaz. Okay, now let me tell you about how I met Chaz. Chaz is Brandon Porr's best friend, and I've known Brandon Porr for a year, 2 years, a year and a half. Yeah, a year and a half. And so at the bazaar this past year, Chaz was there because he goes to our church, and Brandon Porr introduced him to me, and I started talking to him, and he is the sweetest person I think I've ever met. He is so sweet, he's so funny, and he's not that hard to look at either. And I have no memories with him, and we talk a lot, kind of ish, sort of, since 2 days ago. So I mean, we don't really have any memories, but eventually we will have some. I mean, one day there will be memories. Okay. Next person I'm gonna talk about is one of my really, really good friends, Mercedes. But I don't call her Mercedes. I call her Sades. I'm the only person that calls her Sades. And my favorite memory with Mercedes is last year we were in computer and we had a sub. And this sub absolutely hated us. She didn't like us at all. And we weren't even, okay, well, we talked a lot in that class that day, which we always did. And we had been warned twice to stop talking. And I mean, the third time that when we got in trouble, we weren't talking. But my other friend, Elizabeth, was talking. But me and Mercedes got in trouble. and we had to go sit in the corner for like the rest of the class. Like, that is seriously my favorite memory with her. I will never ever forget that. Like, that's just that was funny. Okay, next person I'm gonna talk about is Bailey. Now, let me tell you about how me and Bailey became friends. I've known her since I was like 4 or 5 for a long time, and we weren't really like close friends, but we were friends to where I would invite her to my birthday parties and she would invite me to hers. So we would do that because like everyone else did, we didn't want to hurt their feelings. And then in 6th grade, we were in homeroom together. And we still at that point, we really weren't that close to friends. And so I would talk to my friend Elizabeth, my other friend Elizabeth Davis. I didn't want to say last names because you never know who's watching this. And then she would talk to either Mrs. Brown. Well, Mrs. Brown, basically. She would talk. That's right. And then, like, we weren't close friends, so we really never talked. And then in 7th grade in math, me and her sat next to each other with our other friend Elizabeth, and we talked and talked and talked, and we became so good friends that year. Like, that week of school, the very first week of school, we became close friends. And from that point on, we weren't allowed to sit next to each other in math because we talked too much, and like we talked so much. But I think it was because the fact that we were in math together, we became really close friends. And then a memory I have with her, I have like a few, I think, or two-ish, or two. There was a point this year where 3 of my friends, another Elizabeth, Mercedes, and then my other friend Ashley, they would go upstairs and work on the NJHS bulletin board. So me and Bailey would get stuck at recess by ourselves with like Peyton and some girl named Emma and Alyssa. And me and Bailey would sit on the swings and we would sing Glee songs the entire recess. We did this for like 2 weeks straight. And they would stare at us thinking like, y'all are crazy, what are you doing? And that was really fun. And then another thing. Okay, like recently we were in Miss Edwards, my favorite teacher, my math teacher. We were in her room at the end of the day, and me and Bailey started singing more Glee songs, but we were singing the Glee songs that were like kind of inappropriate. And so Miss Edwards was like laughing at us because she's like, why are y'all singing these songs? And we're like, they're Glee songs. And she's like, y'all know those are inappropriate. We're like, oh, totally, but they're really good. So we kept singing them. And she was just like, y'all, these are too inappropriate. You shouldn't be singing them, like that sort of stuff. So we had to stop. But I think my favorite memory with Bailey is every single day in math class, and every single day at the end of the day, and we would go in Miss Edwards' room and do something dumb, stupid, and just like goof off. Okay, the next person I'm gonna talk about is my best friend, Elizabeth Galati. She is my best friend in the whole entire world. Like, she and I have so many memories, but I can't name them all, which isn't good. But a few of them I have is in 5th grade when we made our Oregon Trail video. That video is hysterical. It is so funny. It has nothing to do with an Oregon Trail. Like, it's not even funny. And then another memory I have is our very first date. I was going out with McKay and she was going out with Daniel. We went to the movies and we saw Iron Man, and like, it wasn't that great. Well, it was a good movie, but it was kind of weird. And then I went to dinner after that and we played on the rocks and it was so much fun. Like, that's one thing I'll never ever forget. And then another memory I have with her, like, the week before we got up for Christmas break on the bus, she decided to take her water bottle and like put it out the window, and I gently tapped it. I didn't hit it, I tapped it gently, and she was not expecting it, so she like tipped the rest of it over too. And it wasn't far enough out to where it would go out, it was more in, so when we tapped it, it went inside the bus and hit everyone on the side of the window. It was probably the most funny thing ever. And luckily, Miss Corte did not get mad at us, and we didn't get in trouble, and that was a fun. These are just a few of my really close friends and a few memories I have with them. But eventually, I will make another video with more memories, like when I think of them, because like I had to think about all these in church and like coming home, and I have them all written down on my phone. So thanks for watching. Bye.